For more than 3 decades, Final Fight has remained one of the most iconic beat-em-up franchises ever created. Released by Capcom in 1989, the game introduced players to the crime-filled streets of Metro City and legendary heroes such as Cody, Guy, and Mike Hager. While the series helped define the arcade beat-em-up genre, it has largely remained dormant for many years, leaving fans wondering whether a true comeback will ever happen. In recent years, rumors surrounding a potential Final Fight remake have reignited excitement within the gaming community. Although Capcom has not officially announced a remake, speculation continues to grow as fans look at the company's successful revival of classic franchises. Much of the discussion about a possible Final Fight remake can be traced back to documents that surfaced following the major Capcom data breach in 2020. Several reports claimed that internal schedules referenced projects including a Final Fight remake and a Power Stone remake. While none of these projects were officially confirmed by Capcom, the leak sparked widespread interest among longtime fans. Since then, Capcom has successfully released or announced multiple revivals of classic properties. The company has enjoyed tremendous success with remakes, such as Resident Evil titles, while also bringing back older franchises through new sequels and collections. This has encouraged fans to believe that Final Fight could eventually receive similar treatment. However, there remains no official confirmation that a remake is currently in development. The gaming industry is experiencing what many fans describe as a beat-em-up renaissance. Modern titles inspired by classic arcade brawlers have found critical and commercial success. Community discussions frequently point out that this renewed popularity creates the perfect opportunity for Capcom to revive one of the genre's most influential series. Many players believe Capcom is sitting on a valuable franchise that already has strong brand recognition. Metro City remains an important location within the Street Fighter universe, and several Final Fight characters have appeared throughout the Street Fighter series over the years. This existing connection could help introduce Final Fight to a new generation of players. Furthermore, Capcom has demonstrated a willingness to revisit older intellectual properties. Recent investor communications highlighted the company's interest in expanding and revitalizing classic franchises, fueling additional speculation that lesser-used series may eventually return. If Capcom decides to remake Final Fight, fans have very high expectations. The most common request is modern graphics while preserving the classic side-scrolling gameplay. Many players do not want Final Fight transformed into a completely different genre. Instead, they hope for high-quality 3D visuals that maintain the arcade action that made the original game famous. Another popular demand is 4-player online cooperative gameplay. The original arcade experience was known for its chaotic action, and modern online functionality would allow friends worldwide to battle through Metro City together. Fans also want a larger roster. While Cody, Guy, and Hager would obviously return, many players hope to see characters from Final Fight 2, Final Fight 3, and even crossover appearances from the Street Fighter universe. Story expansion is another frequently discussed feature. The original game's plot was simple by today's standards. A remake could greatly expand Metro City's lore, provide deeper character development, and explore relationships between Final Fight and Street Fighter. One of the biggest topics among fans is the visual style. Some players want a realistic approach similar to Capcom's modern Resident Evil remakes. Others prefer a stylized presentation that resembles high-end animated films or modern fighting games. A popular suggestion is to use visual technology inspired by Street Fighter 6. This approach would allow Capcom to maintain colorful characters and exaggerated combat animations while still delivering modern graphics. Many fans imagine detailed city streets, dynamic weather systems, destructible environments, and cinematic boss battles that feel larger than anything seen in previous Final Fight games. No Final Fight remake would be complete without Mike Hager. The former professional wrestler and mayor of Metro City remains one of Capcom's most beloved characters. Fans expect Hager to receive a complete visual redesign while preserving his signature wrestling moves and larger-than-life personality. Cody is another major attraction. His evolution throughout the Street Fighter timeline gives Capcom numerous storytelling opportunities. Guy remains one of the franchise's most popular fighters thanks to his speed and ninja-inspired techniques. Beyond the main trio, fans frequently request the return of Maki, Lucia, Dean, Carlos, and several memorable villains from throughout the series. Despite the excitement, fans also have concerns. One fear is that Capcom might alter the gameplay too dramatically. The failure of some past attempts to reinvent classic franchises serves as a warning for many longtime players. Others worry that Capcom may view Final Fight as redundant because many of its themes and characters have already been incorporated into Street Fighter. Some community members believe Metro City's role in Street Fighter 6 may have reduced the urgency for a separate Final Fight revival. There is also debate about whether Capcom should develop the game internally or partner with an external studio experienced in modern beat-em-ups. Online discussions often suggest collaboration with developers that have successfully revived other classic brawler franchises. At the moment, there is no official announcement regarding a Final Fight remake. The rumors remain based largely on older leaked information and continued fan speculation. Nevertheless, the conditions have rarely looked better for a comeback. Capcom is thriving, classic franchise revivals are popular, and the beat-em-up genre is once again attracting attention from players worldwide. Community discussions throughout 2025 and 2026 show that demand for a new Final Fight remains surprisingly strong. Whether Capcom eventually announces a full remake, a reboot, or even a collection of classic titles, one thing is clear: fans have not forgotten Metro City. For many gamers, the dream remains simple. They want to step back into the streets as Hager, Cody, and Guy, battle the Mad Gear Gang with modern graphics, and experience a legendary arcade classic reborn for a new era. No complicated skill trees, no endless open worlds, and no overwhelming mechanics. Just walking into danger and fighting your way through waves of enemies. Among the games that defined that era, Final Fight remains one of the most remembered and respected names. Originally released during the arcade boom, Final Fight created a formula that many later games followed. Large stages, memorable enemies, cooperative gameplay, satisfying combat, and a city that felt alive, despite technical limitations. Even years later, fans continued to talk about the series and ask the same question: what if Final Fight finally returned as a full modern remake? If fan demand ever became strong enough and developers decided to rebuild Final Fight for today's generation, expectations would be extremely high. Players would not simply want upgraded graphics. They would expect a game that respects the original identity, while proving that classic beat-em-up games still deserve a place in modern gaming. Many old franchises disappeared because gaming trends changed, but Final Fight never completely left player memory. Part of that comes from simplicity. The game did not require hours of tutorials or complicated progression systems. You picked a character, entered the streets of Metro City, and fought. But simplicity does not mean shallow. Behind its straightforward controls was a surprising amount of strategy. Positioning mattered, timing mattered. Crowd control mattered. Players learned how to manage groups, avoid being surrounded, and maximize every move. Modern players have shown there is still interest in this style of gameplay. Recent beat-em-ups prove that audiences still enjoy direct action and cooperative experiences. That creates an opportunity. A Final Fight remake could introduce a legendary series to a new generation while giving longtime fans the return they have wanted for years. The biggest mistake a remake could make would be trying too hard to modernize. Final Fight should not become an open-world RPG. It should not become a loot game. It should not become an online service designed around daily missions. At its core, Final Fight should remain a real beat-em-up. Combat must feel immediate. Players should still punch and chain attacks naturally, grab enemies and throw them, use emergency moves under pressure, manage groups instead of fighting one enemy at a time, create combos without memorizing complicated inputs. However, developers could introduce modern improvements. A remake could include smoother combo transitions, environmental interactions, defensive options like dodges or parries, character-specific abilities, advanced combo routes for skilled players. The key is preserving accessibility. Anyone should be able to enjoy the game in 5 minutes. Mastering it should take much longer. One of Final Fight's greatest strengths was atmosphere. Metro City was more than a background. It felt dangerous, dirty, and unpredictable. A remake should turn the city into a major part of the experience. Imagine fighting through rain-soaked streets, crowded subway stations, abandoned industrial zones, rooftop escapes, underground fight clubs, neon-lit entertainment districts. Each district could have its own gang identity, music, and combat rhythm. The city should evolve visually as players progress. But developers should avoid making the world too large. Beat-em-ups succeed because of pacing. Players want focused action, not endless travel between objectives. Dense levels with secrets and replay value would fit Final Fight better than a massive map. If Final Fight returns, character design cannot be treated as an afterthought. The original heroes each represented different styles. A remake should expand that philosophy. Mike Heger should feel unstoppable, a powerhouse who dominates space and overwhelms enemies. Cody should represent balance and adaptability, rewarding smart positioning and flexible combos. Guy should emphasize speed, movement, and precision. Players should immediately feel the difference after switching characters. Additional features could include alternate costumes, unlockable movesets, challenge modes, character progression tied to playstyle instead of grinding. A great beat-em-up makes players choose characters because they enjoy how they fight, not because of statistics. Final Fight became memorable because people played together. A remake should fully embrace cooperative play. Local multiplayer should return. Online co-op should be smooth and stay. Players should be able to join sessions instantly without complicated setup. Developers could add combo teamwork bonuses, synchronized special attacks, difficulty scaling, revival systems, cooperative score rankings. The best beat-em-ups create moments players talk about afterward. Those moments happen when teamwork naturally creates excitement. Classic arcade bosses were memorable because they felt different. Modern action games sometimes rely on oversized health bars instead of meaningful mechanics. A Final Fight remake should avoid that. Bosses should challenge players in different ways. One boss might pressure movement, another might punish aggressive play, another could manipulate the environment. Every encounter should teach players something new. Winning should feel earned. Developers may face a difficult choice. Should Final Fight become realistic? Probably not. Beat-em-ups depend on readability and impact. Stylized visuals may work better. High-quality 2D animation could preserve the arcade spirit. Stylized 3D could modernize the presentation while keeping fast gameplay. Effects should make punches feel powerful. Animations should communicate momentum. Every hit should look satisfying. Visual identity matters more than technical realism. A great beat-em-up is harder to create than it looks. Developers must focus on fundamentals. Movement must feel responsive. Combat must reward timing. Enemy AI must pressure players without becoming unfair. Stages must encourage replayability. Co-op must strengthen the experience. Most importantly, the game must respect player time. No unnecessary grinding, no artificial progression. No systems that distract from fighting. Final Fight became legendary because it understood something simple. Entering a dangerous street and surviving through skill is fun. If a remake ever happens because fans demand it, success will not come from copying modern trends. It will come from remembering what made the original work in the first place. The future of beat-em-ups may not require reinvention. Sometimes all players want is a great fight.